many different ways to trout fish, but my personal favorite is to use a Tenkara Japanese fly rod. Now, according to Dr. Hisayo Ishiaki, using a Tenkara rod originated about 200 years ago in Japan. Now, so today I'm going to show you how to cast with this pole and basically just how to use it to catch some trout. Now, there are a few things that you need to know. First is where you want to cast it. Now, there are two terms you need to know in order for you to know about this, and those are riffle and run. A riffle is basically a rapid, and it's just like that one over there, and it's where the water goes over rocks and is super fast, and then immediately after a riffle is a run. Usually runs are immediately after the riffle, sometimes they can be on their own, but not usually. Now, a run is basically when water is still going, but at a much calmer rate, and you want to cast in the run because that is where trout tend to sit, watching for something to come out of the riffle. Now, once you know where to cast, you need to know how to cast. There are three different kinds of casts: the sidearm, above your head, and then the bow cast. So first you need to know how to do the sidearm, which is, in my opinion, the easiest. It's where basically you just bring your pole to the side and then you gotta zip it over. Now the second kind of casting is an overhead cast. You gotta bring it up and you bring it back down. And then the third kind is the bow cast, which is my dad's personal favorite. And basically what you have to do is you have to hold it at the strike indicator, which is basically a bobber, and then you bring it back as far as you can, try to angle it up and point it where you want to go, and then you just let go. And the bow cast is typically used for if you're trying to get into a very, very shallow space near a rock or something like that. Now once you cast, you have to know what to do. So this, as I said earlier, is a strike indicator. It sits on top of the water and it basically acts as a bobber. It dips under the water when you have a hit, and a hit is basically just when the fish bites your fly. And once you get a hit, you only have one chance to try to hook the fish. There are no barbs on this hook, so usually you kind of have to fight it once you do. But so once you get a hit, you have to pull the pole out of the water, not jerk it as you would with bait fishing, but just kind of lightly but also firmly in order to hook the fish. If you happen to miss the hit, then you miss that fish, and you just have to hope for it next time. And so what you have to do, so when you're waiting for the hit, is when you cast it, you just kind of have to let the thing float down the water. And when it dips under, that's when you yank it. Oh, just like that. So now you have a fish. There it is. And usually you have to have a net. And so you keep the pole as high as you can, and you try to bring the fish towards you. Now you have to make sure that you keep the line taut, because if you don't, the fish can get off the hook. Now you have to bring it close to you. Just like that, you've netted yourself a fish. Now, I'm not going to do this last part because I do have one of these bad boys, but the last nice thing about this pole is that it's compressible and it shrinks down, so it's much easier to bring around with you. So I hope you learned the ways of the Tenkara, and hopefully you'll try this out sometime. Thank you for watching.